Welcome to episode 710. And today we're going to talk about the many benefits of planning. That's right, planning something out, putting together a plan. So as we get ready for this with the opening, why don't you think about what the benefits to you are of planning and see if your list matches ours. All that and more on today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Bob. How are you doing today?
Good. Did you hear a clinking of glass towards the end of that opening?
Yeah, I did. What was going on there?
That would be my cat. Found a glass and stuck his head in and got his head stuck in the glass for a second or two. And he was actually hitting the wall with it.
Didn't you tell me the other day that cats are smarter than dogs?
Well, he's also 4 months old and figuring the world out.
Okay, fair enough.
I will say he doesn't do the same thing twice. Yesterday, he put his head through the spokes of a bike and couldn't get his head out for a couple seconds because they get narrower as you go up, and your natural inclination is to move your head up. He finally figured it out, and he hasn't got within 10 feet of that bike since then. So he can.
And he's quite a celebrity. He's showing up on Facebook and Instagram, and
he is.
You might want to create like an Instagram page for Sam Hunt.
On cue. Look at that. Sam Hunt's in the house. Look at that. Oh, as he bites my finger because he doesn't like it. Look, there's Tom, your favorite guy. See? Oh yeah. I know. All right. There you go. So
you are.
What's that?
You could create a page for him. He could have like a TikTok account or
thinking
Instagram.
About it. Thinking about it. But I do enjoy the pictures I take of him and how I connect it to business topics. It's become a really fun game for me.
Yeah, there you go. He could be an internet superstar.
That's
before
it.
you.
He could have more of a following than we do.
What would that do to you?
Oh, I shudder to think.
There you go. So let's stop that conversation at the moment.
Okay.
Just see where it goes. All right, everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. I'm Tom, and that's Bob over there. For those of you on the podcast who might not be 100% positive whose voice is whose, each morning we have a conversation around a topic of the week. As Bob mentioned at the kickoff, this week we're talking about planning. And today we're going to discuss the benefits of it. Yesterday we had a great conversation around what it is. So if you missed that, you can go back and check out episode 709 when we began our conversation around planning. And as we go through that conversation, if you have any thoughts or ideas you'd like to share, please feel free to put them in the chat, comments, whatever social media you happen to be following us on, whether it is on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or
LinkedIn Live, baby.
Yes, LinkedIn Live. Because we know that it'll add value to the show and to our conversation.
I've got a cat issue. I'll be right back.
Oh, the cat put its head somewhere else. Because we know it'll add value to our conversation and might provide us with some new knowledge, experience, or perspective. So please feel free to share your thoughts and ideas. And then at the end of the conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you figure out how to take your next step along your own unique pathway to success when you are stuck and uncertain what to do next. And of course, if you have a one thing, an antidote that you would like to share today, please feel free to put that in the comments as well, because your antidote might be exactly what someone else is looking for. And wouldn't it be awful if they never heard it because you decided not to share it? So please feel free to put that in the comments as well. Before we dive into our conversation, though, each morning, we have our celebrations. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm celebrating that we're getting a really enthusiastic response to our December 8th workshop in Baltimore. And I'm looking forward to it. And we've got limited number of seats. So if you're thinking about it or you haven't heard about it, I'm going to put it in the chat. Don't miss your opportunity to figure out how to tackle your next big goal or that thing you've dreamed about all your life, whether it's learning how to play the tuba or buying a new house or buying a beach house or something professional around your career. I would like to get certified to do this at work. We have a way that we can help you figure out the steps to take to move into that.
And today is the last day to sign up for our early bird registration. If you sign up for the early bird registration, you get $100 off of the regular cost of the workshop. You also will get a signed book called The Renegade Way, written by not yours truly, but yours truly, Graham.
I'd hold it up if I had it in front of me. Wait,
why is it that I've always got to deal with the prompt?
There it is.
You need to put that on your desk.
I've got a stack of them because you gave me a stack.
Oh, okay. And the third thing is that you will get one free laser solution with either Bob or I. And our laser solutions are when our clients are stuck and uncertain what to do next. And so after the workshop, if you find a place where you're stuck and not certain what to do next, you can call us up and we'll have a guided conversation, ask you a lot of questions and help you figure out how to get unstuck and keep moving forward along your own unique pathway to success. So you might want to dive in, take advantage of those 3 benefits of being a part of it. It's going to be a great event. We're going to have networking and continental breakfast to start. Lunch will be available, and we're going to wrap the day up with a happy hour. So you'll have a chance to connect and engage with people, and you'll get 2 free drink tickets to be a part of that. What a great thing. Breakfast, lunch, and a happy hour. And an amazing workshop.
And a great workshop.
And a great workshop, no doubt. So we look forward to seeing you as a part of the 8th. Great celebration, Bob. I appreciate that.
How about you?
So I'm celebrating. It was interesting. So I think yesterday I celebrated. I was going to this dinner last night. It was part of a program that I was at, and so it was great to be there.
Chicken?
And
was it a chicken dinner?
No, it was very nice. It was downtown. It was at Amper C, I think is what it's called.
Oh yes.
It's part of the living rooms. It's a unique school educational system in Baltimore. Yes. And right on the harbor. So we were on the 2nd floor. It looked right out over the water. It was great. And it was a certification that I did a year ago with Maryland Nonprofits to get licensed in their standards of excellence. And this was the new class.
Licensed or certified?
Certified. I'm a licensed consultant, so I think licensed as well.
Oh, okay.
So this was.
Do I need to call you doctor or esquire or something now?
No, I don't even think I have initials afterwards as the certification for it. So
Thomas, not Tom?
That's my name. Not many people call me Thomas, a few people. So okay. Anyhow, we were at this. And so I'd gone through the program last year and I was there to sort of mingle and talk with the new group. And, if they had questions about what am I doing with it and how has it been helpful and beneficial, and just sort of connect and engage with a group of nonprofit leaders. And we were standing there, and the woman who runs it, who had invited me, was very kind and gave me a box of Girl Scout cookies, my favorite peanut butter patties or whatever they're called now, as a thank you gift for coming down to be a part of it. And we were having this conversation, and she walked over and was like, well, I'm glad you got a chance to meet me, because with the people in the circle, because he is our resident expert on fundraising among our consultants or our associate consultants. And I was like,
wow.
I as maybe although I maybe haven't shared that with you, I don't ever like to call myself an expert. I think that's up to somebody else to decide. And it was nice to be, and very kind of her to say that I
Congratulations. That's great.
Yeah.
You're my resident expert on fundraising. Whenever I'm trying to raise funds or pay bills, I come to you and you explain to me how I can do it. Just last week, you had me come up with 10 ways I could generate revenue.
Absolutely. And I think we came up with more than 10, actually. So,
well, when we added the Chippendale dancer part, that moved it to 11, I believe.
Yeah. And that was way at the top of the list.
That might be my big dream.
It could be. It could be. We could work. If that's your big dream and you want to, you can just participate next week on the 8th. And we'll help you figure out how to do that.
As a Chippendale dancer?
Yeah.
And now the registrations are crashing.
If that's your dream.
So our refund policy.
No. So anyhow, that was my celebration.
That's great. Truly.
It felt
I
good.
know it's a lot of
Thanks.
hard work to get to that place, and it's nice to be recognized by the people that you serve.
Yeah, and that they see the value in what I share and provide to their clients.
Nice.
So, all right, now let's dive into our conversation for the week. We're talking about planning, and today we're going to discuss some of the benefits of planning. As you do know, that means that the challenges is coming up a little bit later in the week. As we know, with everything, there are benefits and challenges, opportunities and obstacles. So let's not worry about that just yet. Just know that that's coming. So, Bob, what are your thoughts and ideas around the benefits of planning?
I think the biggest benefit to planning something is you don't have to think about what you're going to do, which enables you to focus on what you're actually doing. Like I find this morning, I was going to do a workout. And so last night, I put my clothes aside to do that. I set the alarm to do that. I had water ready to go, and all the things I needed to be able to execute that plan were in place. So when I got up this morning, I didn't really want to get up and do it. But it's like I looked and I saw my clothes were there and everything was in place. So it was very easy to get into it because all the things that would have stopped me. Oh, where are my shoes? Oh, where are my shorts? Oh, where's this? Where's that? Where's the exercise mat? All those things were literally right in place so that I didn't need to think about it. And so I could worry about just executing the plan, which was the plan was to do a workout for a half hour before the program. And I got that done and I worked it out so I'd have it done in time so I could take a shower and get dressed. And everything worked to plan, except I didn't get my cup of coffee made. That just, I misallocated some time along the way there. But otherwise, I worked to the plan. So here it is, 7:19 a.m. Eastern time. And I executed something that I've been trying to do more frequently. And if I just, well, I'll get up at whenever. If I get up at 6:20, I might do it, I might not. And I think that's the thing we can do, extrapolate that to our business or our leadership role. If we can have a plan, one, I think it makes us more likely to achieve something. Second, I think it helps people around us feel better about us in terms of, can we lead them? Can we lead ourselves? When I have a plan and I execute it and I say to you, I executed my plan this morning. You go, oh, wow, he might be someone who I should pay attention to, because the people who are like, yeah, I've been planning to leave my job for the last 7 years and it just hasn't felt right. I'm not really sure when to do it. I don't know what to do about it. And after a certain point in time, that person no longer, you just kind of get desensitized to that statement. On some level, they're not going to do it probably. And so it's a dream at that point, right?
Sure.
It's not executable because there's no steps. If you're going to leave a job, it's like, well, I'm going to find another job, or I'm going to get my resume ready, or I'm going to start a business on the side, or whatever. You take action steps. And so often I think we, as you've said several times in the last few weeks, we have the dream. I want to be a Chippendale dancer, which is the most extreme, funny thing possible. But to do that would be like, I'd have to exercise a lot. I'd have to figure out that world. There are steps that I could take to get there. But if I say I've always wanted to be a Chippendale dancer and I don't take any of those steps, it's just a dream. So I think the ultimate benefit I see from planning is it takes dreams away from the dream phase into the goal phase and the real phase. And that's what our workshop on the 8th of December really does, is it takes something you've been dreaming about, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You can have the biggest dream in the world. I would perfectly be comfortable to come to that workshop and say, I want to host the Today Show one day. And like, okay, and walk through that. And there are probably steps that I could take to get there. Are the odds good that I'll get there? Probably not. But they're a whole lot better if I come up with the steps and take the actions that I think can get me there than if I just sit here and go, I hope Al Roker drives through Hartford County, Maryland one day and just happens to see me at the grocery store and says, aren't you the guy with the cat videos? And I saw you do that thing. Do you want to come on the Today Show? Because I'm off next Friday and we really need someone to do my witty banter. And you'd be perfect for it. I think that's how we often like to be. It's like, well, we're going to be picked out of the sky to do this thing that we want to achieve, but we haven't done the work. We haven't done the planning or the executing of that plan. And so it just remains a dream. So did I make any sense at all in that?
Absolutely. No, I
Okay.
think I think that the planning helps it, I'm not sure it helps it become a reality, because obviously there's a lot that goes into it that can happen between the putting the plan together and then executing. I think it makes the reality seem doable if you then choose to follow through on the plan. Like that's the next piece. Is I think so often without the plan you have no idea of what it's going to take. In some ways you think, well, this is going to be easy. I just say I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a business. Like I'm going to leave my job and start a business. And you haven't thought about like what business, where is it going to be located? Who are you going to serve? How is it going to benefit? Do you need employees? Do you need a business name, an account? All those things that go into starting a business will help you better understand, okay, either what's my runway that I need, what it's going to look like, or be like, maybe that's a little more involved than I thought. And so I need to think about it differently. And obviously that can lead to some challenges, no doubt. And yet it at least allows us to get a better picture of what we believe this is going to take to actually achieve this thing that we desire. And, excuse me. And I think that's, where I see it is that it really gives you a better outline. Is that you've actually thought through, not just, oh, I'm going to do this, but you've actually taken the time to consider like some of the obstacles that might be in front of you, some of the opportunities that lay there as well. And so I think that that's some clarity. I guess it might be one of the things that I would think about, is that the benefits is clarity around, what it's going to take. And again, then it makes it easier to share and let others know so that they're a little more clear about what you're thinking about. And it's not just, again, like we've been saying, it's not just a dream. Like, oh yeah, you're going to go start a business. Great. Well, what have you done about it? Well, nothing really. I've thought a lot about it and I haven't really put anything in place to help it move forward. And I think that it's that intentionality. I think I used that yesterday. Is that the word I made up yesterday?
Yep.
I like that word. Intentionality.
If you keep going at it, I need to look it up. But let me look it up. Maybe it is a word.
Might become one of the new words for Webster's. I just think the intentionality, I'm going to continue to use it until you tell me it's not a word, of the consideration of what it's going to take, what it looks like, I think starts to put it into a different term. It moves it from a dream.
I have bad news for you, Tom. According to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, intentionality is the power of minds and mental states to be about, to represent, or to stand for things, properties, and I had to look at more. Things, properties, and states of affairs. To say of an individual's mental states that they have intentionality is to say that they are mental representations or that they have contents.
So it is a word.
It is.
And I actually might have used it appropriately.
I think you did. I stand corrected.
Every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut, as I like to say. So I just think that there's, some of the purpose. I think it shows a level of seriousness and commitment that's very different than what we have around a dream. And, I think being committed to a dream or to a big goal, I think really means that you've taken some time to actually think about what is it going to take to achieve that, so that you have a better understanding of what you need. Like you this last night said, well, what am I going to need to make it as easy as possible and as hard to not do it?
And to have success.
To have success, correct.
The ultimate goal was, I want to get this done in the morning before the program. What are the action steps that make that possible?
Correct.
And I think we tend not to think that way. We think of success, well, I'll figure out as I go. But I think there are steps we can take that, as you and I identified when we were trying to figure out my plan, a lot of those steps were there, things that I had done. We just restacked them and recalibrated them to say, okay, if this is really what you want to achieve, here are the steps you need to take. So we talked about me speaking more. It's like, okay, how can you go about that? Where would you go about that? And so I think another benefit of it is it gives you mile markers.
Sure.
You know, if you plan in certain ways, like you're going to walk people through on December 8th, there are things that I know if I do these things this week, I will achieve, I'm more likely to achieve my goal. And if those things don't work, I know what I tried. And if it doesn't work after a couple months, I can come back and say, hey, I tried those things, they didn't work. Now I'm going to try something else, but part of it did work.
Or at least I have an understanding of what happened.
Correct.
Took
And
the
I
time
think
to
that can
understand
be
and not to say it didn't work.
Right. I think that can be a huge benefit, though, to have that clarity. Otherwise, you just, well, I could do this. You know, I could be a Chippendale dancer. I could just go down there, knock on the door and say, I'd like to dance for you. I could go down there and be dressed for it and show them my ability. I could get a billboard right outside the location with a picture of me in my Chippendale outfit and say, I'm ready to work for you. I could ask a friend of mine who knows someone else who's with the Chippendale dancers who would say, oh, I got this really tall, dorky guy that wants to dance with you guys. All those possibilities. And then there are probably 80 other permutations.
Sure.
And that's what I think we don't do. We say, I want to be a Chippendale dancer, but we don't think through the possible steps to get there. I think we've all said that at least once. I mean, I've said it 4 times this morning.
At least 4 times. All right, Bob. So as we dive in, and you shared, I think, a little bit of it, and maybe not, maybe there's something different. What's your one thing around the benefits of planning?
I think ultimately my one thing around the benefits is it gives you both clarity and comfort. Comfort that you might actually achieve what you're looking to do. I felt much more comfortable about achieving my workout this morning because I had everything that I could get in place. And if my alarm hadn't gone off this morning, then I could say, oh, okay, I need to have a second alarm. And tomorrow I would have had a second alarm. So it gets us closer in figuring out the process as we go. What about you?
So when I think about the benefits of planning, you know, you use 2 of the words that I might have considered.
Clarity.
So I'll go with the third, and I think it's the confidence.
Oh,
I think
like
that it allows you to have a better understanding. And interestingly enough, I think it allows you to have a better understanding of what it's going to take. And based on that, what you think the possibilities are. You know, I think there's a confidence to say, hey, I thought this was what I really wanted. Although when I look into what it's going to take, I'm maybe not ready to do those things. Or I am, and now I'm excited about it. And so I think it gives you the confidence to make a decision to go forward or not. And I think that confidence can make all the difference between saying, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm not, and whatever the success is. You know, again, if you've had this dream and you looked at it and you've thought about it and you did some planning around it and you're like, wow, that's going to take a lot more to do than I'm ready to do at the moment. You know, if your preparation for your workout prior to our show had a whole more steps and it really meant you had to get up at 4, and you're like, I'm really not into doing that, especially because maybe I stayed up and watched Monday Night Football, or I could in the future. And what is that going to look like for me to establish a routine? You could say, you know what, as much as I thought that was my big goal or that was a dream, it's not, I'm not seeing the pathway that makes sense to me. So maybe I need to consider it differently. Or I could say, no, you know what, that was a dream. And this is why I'm not sure that that's going to work. By sharing that, someone else might provide you with new knowledge, experience, or information that could help you figure it out. Or you can at least go forward and say, yep, that's for me or that's not for me. And I think that confidence will help us when people challenge our dream or our big goal.
Or we challenge it ourselves, right?
Yes. Although I think that one of the things is that, correct, is that it could say to you,
I can't be a Chippendale dancer. I'm not good enough looking, or I'm too old for that. Those thoughts will come into our heads.
Yeah, and if you go back and look, well, that may be true, and I also have all these other things that I say I can do all of those that could allow me to get to that point. Because I think what happens once we share our dream, it's almost like now we're sort of stuck with it. So if the dream was I'm just going to leave my job to start a business, and you tell that to people, it's like, this is what I want to do, this is my big dream. When you stop talking about it and they say, well, what happened to your dream? So, well, you know what? Here's what I did. I did some planning around it, and I looked at all the variables and all the action steps I would have to take. And I decided that maybe that wasn't my dream, that it truly was just a dream that I hadn't really thought about to give me a real understanding of, is this truly what I desire? Or is this just something that sounded good until I really looked at it? And now I have a better understanding of it. And now I made a new decision. And then you can feel confident that you've done what you could do to try to achieve that, and then decided whether you actually wanted to or not.
Wow, a chunky episode. And for the record, I really don't want to be a Chippendale dancer. I was using it for comedic purposes. Unless there's someone out there who says, hey, I'd love to see him dance in the Chippendales and they have a connection, I would do it once just for giggles.
Really?
I think I would. Yeah.
Interesting.
This is how I tried to dunk a basketball in a program.
Careful what you say you might be willing to do, because we could put a plan together that could actually work out, and you could get a chance to live out that dream.
I stand by my statement.
Well, maybe I have a new plan I have to develop.
Well,
anyhow,
it's the power of the internet now.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being a part of our show. If you have one thing you'd like to share about what you believe, your antidote around the benefits of planning, please feel free to put it in the comments. If you happen to be listening to the podcast, we understand there's no opportunity for you to share your thoughts and ideas immediately, outside of yelling at the person in the car next to you, the person on the treadmill nearby, or the bike. So we would encourage you and anyone else to go to our 2 groups. So if you are a LinkedIn person and that's where you spend your time, join us in the Renegade Success Network for Leaders group, where you can share your thoughts and ideas and your one thing around the benefits of planning there. If you're a Facebook person and you would prefer to interact there, go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where you can share your value, your thoughts, your ideas, and your antidote. That might be exactly what someone else is looking. And I also believe that while you're there, you might gain some value as well. That might be just the thing you need when you're struggling and uncertain how to take the next step along your own unique pathway to success. So we look forward to seeing you inside of one of those 2 groups. If not, or both, I guess. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for our next episode of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, don't miss out on that early bird discount. That's a huge discount. It's really going to be a great program December 8th if you can be in Baltimore. Hotels at this place are not going to be that expensive if you're outside the area and you think it would be a great jump start for you. We'd love to have you. That closes at midnight Eastern tonight. So don't miss out on that opportunity. It's in the chat. And for you podcast people, it will be on the podcast page. So don't miss out. And of course, embrace the renegading you, even if that means you might be a Chippendale dancer one day.
And I would also offer that if the workshop sounds good for you and you are trying to plan out how that could work and you're uncertain, reach out to us. And we might be able to help you put together a plan that sees the value that it'll provide and how you can actually accomplish something that may not look as easy to accomplish as you might have thought. So we're happy to have conversations around what that looks like. And otherwise, go out and make it a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to Today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.